Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into a really foundational text, just packed with wisdom, the Bhagavad Gita.
Indeed. And we've got a lot to draw on here, over 250 sources, actually. Things like Swami Dayananda's home study, his YouTube talks on the Gita's essence.
Right, and also Swami Vidya lectures and writings, a really rich set of materials.
Absolutely.
So our aim today is to, distill the core essence of the Gita, make it comprehensive, but also hopefully pretty accessible.
Yeah, get to the heart of it without getting totally lost in the weeds. We know you want the deep insights, but, well, clearly explained.
Exactly. So we'll be digging into the big ideas, the nature of reality, action, devotion, life's ultimate goal, all based on what these swamis have shared. Okay, let's get started.
Sounds good. And what strikes me looking across all these materials, especially from both Swami Dayananda and Swami Vidya, is just how relevant the Gita still feels.
It really does, don't you?
Yeah. Swami Dayananda is fantastic at breaking down really complex concepts in his home study, making them understandable.
And Swami Vidya seems great at connecting these ancient ideas to, well, life today.
Precisely. They both highlight how the Gita offers this sort of timeless roadmap for anyone looking for, deeper meaning.
Okay, so where does it all begin? It famously starts right in the thick of things, right? On a battlefield.
That's right, Kurukshetra. And you have Arjuna, this great warrior, suddenly just frozen, overcome with grief.
Because he has to fight his own family, his teachers.
Exactly. And the sources really emphasize that this isn't just, battle fatigue. It's a profound crisis. He's suddenly intensely aware of his connection to everyone on the opposing side.
Ah, so the grief comes from that connection.
Yes. Swami Vidya explains it beautifully. We grieve because we're connected. Arjuna sees his loved ones, the people he respects, and the thought of destroying them. It just paralyzes him. He loses his motivation, his sense of duty, his dharma.
Wow, so in the middle of that intensity, the Gita's teachings start to emerge. And a core part of that is understanding who we really are, right? The nature of the self, the Atman, and the bigger reality, Brahman.
Yes, exactly. Both Swamijis consistently hammer this home. The Atman is your true self. It's unchanging, eternal, completely separate from the body and mind, which are always changing.
So the life we see in the body, that's consciousness.
It is consciousness, but as the teachers often explain, it seems limited because we identify it with the body. Like, think of fire. If it's burning a round log, the fire looks round, right? But the fire itself isn't inherently round.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
So consciousness takes on the attributes of what it's associated with.
Exactly. And the big takeaway is you're not your body. You're not your thoughts, not your feelings. You're the awareness behind all of that. And realizing this, even intellectually at first, can bring a huge sense of relief, of peace.
And then there's Brahman, the ultimate reality.
The ultimate limitless reality. The ground of all being, pervading everything. Think of it like, well, the Swamijis use great analogies.
It's like cotton and cloth.
Yeah, or gold and an ornament, water and a wave. The material cause is in the effect. So Brahman, the Lord, in his unmanifest form, is the material cause of the entire universe. It permeates everything.
It's like the underlying substance of it all.
Kind of. It's the fundamental reality.
So what we call matter, according to these teachings, it's more like primordial energy. Prakriti.
Yes, Prakriti. And the conscious principle, the knower, is Purusha, which is seen as the Lord's higher aspect. It's consciousness, ultimately, that sustains the universe.
Which naturally leads to the question, where did it all come from? How did it start?
Right. And the Gita, as interpreted by Swami Dayananda and Swami Vidya, describes creation not as a one-off event, but as a cycle.
A cycle.
Yeah. The Lord, using this power called Maya, it's often translated as inscrutable or creative power, projects the universe out from unmanifest state. It's like waking up from deep sleep.
And then it goes back.
At the end of a cosmic cycle, yes. Everything merges back into the unmanifest Lord, and then at the start of the next cycle, it all manifests again.
And the Lord himself isn't bound by this cycle in the same way we are, like with karma.
Correct. He's described as birthless, deathless, beyond the laws of karma that govern individual beings. His appearances, his births as avatars, are through his own will, his Maya, not compelled by past actions.
Okay. And there's this distinction, right, between the Lord with forms and the Lord beyond forms.
Yes, Swami Dayananda really clarifies this. The Lord with forms, Krishna, Shiva, etc., can be an object of meditation, devotion, but the ultimate reality, the object of knowledge, is the formless Brahman.
But the main point is His limitlessness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
His true glory, they emphasize, is being completely free from all limitations. That's the core understanding.
Okay, so Arjuna's in crisis. He's getting these, frankly, mind-bending teachings about reality. But how does this actually help him decide what to do right now on the battlefield?
That's where karma yoga comes in, the path of action.
Selfless action,
Yeah.
specifically.
Exactly. It's presented as a way to act in the world and achieve liberation. The Gita points out, and both Swamijis stress this, that we have to act. It's just our nature, Prakriti, compels us. You can't just sit still.
But it's how you act that matters.
Precisely. It's about doing your duty, performing actions, but without being attached to the results, the fruits of the action.
Like doing the work for its own sake. Or as an offering.
Yes, as an offering to the Lord. Swami Dayananda really pushes this idea. Shift your focus. Don't seek satisfaction only from the outcome. Find it in the action itself, done with the right attitude.
Because acting just for personal gain ties you down.
It leads to bondage, yes. Likes, dislikes, anxieties about results. But actions done as worship, with dedication, they create freedom. Even just your regular duties, do them without constantly thinking, what's in it for me?
This sounds incredibly relevant, actually. Less stress if you're not fixated on the
It
outcome.
really is. And then there's the idea of offering the results, whatever they are, to the Lord.
Accepting success and failure.
As prasada, as grace. Not letting the results define your worth. Swami Vidya talks a lot about this detachment being key for inner peace.
And he also mentions yajna, sacrifice.
Yes, but broadening the meaning. Not just ritual sacrifice, but any action done for others, for the good of the whole as a contribution. Like nature itself, the sun shines for everyone, the rain falls for everyone, it operates for others.
So our actions should have that same spirit, contributing, not just taking.
Exactly. See the world as a place for service, for worship, not just exploitation. The Vedas, the sources mentioned, provide guidance on how to live this way, fulfilling our duties within the cosmic order. Ignoring this leads to suffering.
Okay, karma yoga action. What about jnana yoga, the path of knowledge?
Right. Jnana yoga is about understanding, gaining wisdom about your true nature, the Atman, and the ultimate reality, Brahman.
And a key tool here is viveka, discrimination.
Yes, the ability to discriminate, to clearly see the difference between the real, the eternal self, and the unreal, the temporary, the body, the mind, the world.
Why is that so important?
Because, as Swami Vidya explains, ignorance is the root of the problem. Ignorance makes us feel small, limited, inadequate.
And that feeling drives our desires. We want things to make us feel complete.
Exactly. We constantly chase things outside ourselves, hoping they'll fill this perceived lack. But Jnana Yoga says true fulfillment, lasting happiness, comes from realizing you are already whole, already complete. Atma Jnana.
Knowing the self, knowing which, nothing more needs to be known.
Beautifully put, that's the essence. Swami Dayananda clarifies the goal isn't just any happiness, but unconditional happiness, Ananda. And that's your true nature. Satchidananda, being consciousness bliss.
Wow.
And this realization comes through understanding that what truly exists, the only fundamental reality, is Brahman.
Is it something you can figure out just by reading?
Well, study is crucial, but the guidance of a teacher, a guru, is considered indispensable on this path. Someone who has realized the truth and can point the way.
And your attitude towards the teacher matters.
Yeah.
Reverence?
Absolutely. Swami Vidya stresses being receptive, tuning in, and it's not just intellectual. Certain values really help prepare the mind for this knowledge.
Like humility, non-violence.
Yes. Humility isn't about thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less, perhaps. It comes from understanding that your talents aren't solely yours, they're gifts. Pride, on the other hand, comes from that mistaken identification, demanding respect.
And non-violence goes beyond just the physical.
Definitely. It's about minimizing harm in thought, word, and deed. Having sensitivity, these values aren't just ethics. They clear the static, so to speak, allowing understanding to dawn.
Okay, so we have action and knowledge. What about bhakti yoga, the path of devotion?
Bhakti is the path of love, of devotion to the Lord, to the divine.
How does that work in practice?
Swami Dayananda explains it involves offering your mind, your intellect, your heart to God, thinking of Him, loving Him. It can also mean worshiping through your actions, doing your duties as an offering, like in karma yoga, but with a strong devotional focus.
Can someone be on the path of knowledge and still be devotional?
Oh, absolutely. Many are. Their devotion might look like constant contemplation of their true nature, which is Brahman, the ultimate reality they love and seek.
And true devotion isn't just about asking for things.
Right. Swami Vidya clarifies that. Mature devotion is seeking the Lord himself, wanting that connection, that realization more than any temporary benefit or worldly gain. Surrender is key here too.
Surrendering to the Lord.
Recognizing his presence everywhere, in everything, as your own innermost self.
It sounds beautiful, but surely there are challenges, obstacles on these paths.
Definitely. The Gita is very clear about them. A major pair are raga dvesha.
Attachment and aversion, likes and dislikes.
Exactly. Swami Vidyatmananda explains how these keep the mind agitated, swinging between craving and repulsion, pulling you away from the steady focus on the self. They breed fear, anxiety.
So freedom means getting beyond these pairs of opposites, the dvandvas.
Yes, finding an inner equilibrium, not being constantly pushed and pulled by what you like and dislike. Another big one is samsaya.
Doubt.
Yes, persistent doubt. It can really stall your progress, prevent conviction from taking root. It's a major hurdle for knowledge.
So if you navigate these paths, overcome the obstacles, what's the ultimate goal? What is moksha?
Moksha is liberation. Freedom.
Freedom from what?
From the whole cycle of birth and death, samsara. Freedom from suffering, from limitation, from desires that bind you.
Is it like going to heaven?
Not really, no. Both Swamijis are clear. Moksha isn't about going to a different place after death. It's about realizing your true nature now. Realizing you are Brahman, which is always here, always present.
So true freedom is internal.
It's freedom from dependence on external things for your fundamental security and happiness. That's what Swami Dayananda emphasizes.
We talked about karma, jnana, bhakti as different yogas, different paths. Are they totally separate?
Not at all. They're deeply interconnected. Think of them as different facets of the same journey, often blending together. Well, as we said, karma yoga, done with the right attitude of offering results to the Lord, purifies the mind and prepares you for deeper understanding, for jnana.
Ah, okay. So action prepares you for knowledge.
And devotion, bhakti, fuels both action and the quest for knowledge. They all lead towards the same goal, realizing your true self. Karma yoga prepares you for renunciation, sannyasa, which culminates in knowledge.
The sources also mention the Lord's role in, well, everything. Creating, sustaining, dissolving the universe.
Yes, the Gita has these grand declarations. The Lord orchestrates the cosmic cycles through Maya, yet remains utterly untouched, unattached by it all.
And the idea of avatars comes up again here.
Right. When dharma, righteousness, declines and negativity rises, the Lord manifests in form an avatar to sort of rebalance things, reestablish the principles of righteous living. That's a key teaching, Swami Dayananda explains.
And wrapping it all up, the last chapter, chapter 18, it's seen as a summary.
Very much so. Swami Vidyatmananda points out that it encapsulates the entire teaching, and the Gita itself is considered the essence of the Vedas and Upanishads.
Covering both main themes of the Vedas.
Exactly. Dharma, how to live righteously, fulfill your duties, and Brahma, understanding the ultimate reality. The Gita brings both together.
And it's aimed at people who are ready for this, who are looking for something more than just worldly success.
Yes, generally speaking. It addresses seekers, those with some maturity, some sense of detachment, who are genuinely asking the big questions about life and liberation. As Shankaracharya noted, and our Swamiji's echo, it starts and ends emphasizing dharma and surrender. It's all advice for Arjuna.
And for us.
Exactly, to understand who we are and act from that understanding.
Well, this has been quite a journey through the Gita's core teachings, drawing on the fantastic insights of Swami Dayananda and Swami Vidyatmananda. It's so clear that this ancient text offers just incredibly profound and practical wisdom for living a meaningful life.
It really does. Understanding our true nature, our connection to the divine.
Yep.
It offers a path to inner peace, to freedom that feels relevant no matter who you are or where you're coming from.
Absolutely. And look, what we've covered today is really just scratching the surface, isn't it? A starting point. We definitely encourage you, if this resonates, to dive into those source materials yourself.
Yeah.
The home study, the lectures. There's so much depth there.
For sure. Which brings us to maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over.
Yeah.
Just consider. How might your daily life, your perspective, your experiences shift if you consciously tried to integrate just one of these core ideas we've discussed? Maybe bringing that spirit of selfless action, karma yoga, into your work, or practicing a little detachment from outcomes, or even just spending a few moments reflecting on that deeper awareness within you. What single idea from all this really stands out and speaks to you right now?